where the treats at.
Is this the passing of the torch, right? Is this what this signifies?
It comes down to that front office and what they feel is most important.
The champ is here. We've touched down from a higher plane. Why you made it here?
We always look forward to that week because it was always intense.
You know that we ain't coming back. We about to.
The man, the myth, the legend, Dante Hall. My favorite player growing up was Dante Hall. I love you guys in the show, but Dante was my guy.
Get to dashing because you done on the warfare.
This episode of Chief Concerns is brought to you by BetOnline.AG.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more, and even NFL preseason. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Chief Concerns. I'm Marcus Dash here with legendary tight end Justyn Dunn. JD, today's it'll be the 7 days till Christmas begins, baby.
It does feel like Christmas. It does feel like Christmas. No doubt about it, man. I am so excited. The time is here. It is finally here. We're just working all through this week. It's been a lot of things that happened. The Chiefs have finally got their roster. We got the guys who are in the building who's going to be playing on Sunday. Got the practice squad together. This is your 2023 Chiefs. This is who you're going to have, and this is who the guys are going to be rooting for, plus Chris Jones. So let's make sure we make that a point too. CJ's going to be there. Okay, so
yeah, based on what Brett Veach said yesterday, he's talking to him and negotiations have begun again, and he says he should be there for week 1 of the season. But if you talk to some Chief fans, you'll say, well, he posted on Instagram a picture of him sitting down. That means he's going to sit out. It's like, okay, no, that doesn't mean that at all.
Man, just reeling people in. Just reeling people in. And the thing is, the knee-jerk reaction to it is exactly who he's getting. He's getting all the people who's knee-jerk on every little thing. They're reading to every little picture. His cryptic tweets. And hey, man, look, don't fall for it. Don't even entertain it. How about just get ready and watch, because what ends up happening, everything starts going, feeling some type of way about who he is, then it start diminishing him, saying he doesn't like the team or what his priorities are and all those, and that's what happens. And you're just disparagingly talking about one of our biggest stars and biggest loves on the Chiefs in Chris Jones. And so, hey man, CJ is going to be here for us. I ain't got no problem with that. I have no doubt in it. But man, like his 53-man roster that we got right here is exciting too. There's some really good names on here. Some really good guys that made the squad, made the roster. So I'm excited to talk about them, man.
Yeah. So in this episode today, it's obviously the preview of the season. Next week, we're going to get back right into the way we usually do things, previewing the matchup ahead. But yeah, this episode, we're going to talk about the roster, the 53-man, what stood out to JD, maybe some things he didn't foresee happening, and then also, just the standouts of that. Then we're going to get into predictions for the season of all the stats out there. So we got Vegas sportbooks have set with Mahomes, Kelce, and Pacheco's over-under for the year. Then we're going to get JD's prediction on what he actually thinks, and if he agrees with Vegas. And then also, of course, we're going to have the season prediction. JD's finally going to give us what he thinks is going to be the Chiefs win total this year and who he has them playing in the Super Bowl, if he has them going to the Super Bowl. I don't know. We'll find out at the end of the show. And then, of course, we have the raffle. So we have a bunch of giveaways we're trying to give out from now until the end of the season. They were giving out 2 giveaways today, and we have a new functionality that I found online where actually takes your tweet and actually does the raffling, so I don't have to write on my little chicken scratch little papers anymore. So it does the randomizing, and it gives a winner. So we'll have 2 winners for some Corey, the Artist Chief merch today. But yeah, lots to get into this episode, JD. Before we get into breaking down the 53-man roster, we just want to give a shout out to everyone who went to Bleacher Report this past weekend to listen to me and JD talk about the Chiefs and Browns preseason finale. We will be working with Bleacher Report this coming season, so there's going to be a lot of content coming with us working with Bleacher Report, and then also with Chief Concerns, we're going to have some premium content for you all. We're going to have some play breakdown, some spotlight from JD going into the dungeon. And then also First and 10 going in, where we'll have a special guest come on and talk some Chiefs football, have some 10 questions with them, some rapid fire stuff with them. But yeah, so we got a lot of content coming for you guys. Bleacher Report, Chief Concerns, all that good stuff. And it's going to be a really, really fun season. And we actually are really excited to present and provide all the content for you guys. JD, what do you got? What do you got to say about all this?
Man, look, I'm the Bleacher Report is a big deal. I'm glad that we put something together. I think it's a great collaboration. It's be very excited for the season, man. It's going to be some really good stuff. We're our hearts out to the fans for all the support, really. But you'll have some other avenues to go and see us. Some other people to get out there. Bleacher Report is a big deal. I think they think we're a big deal, and that's a good thing. But we're great. Look, we're thankful for each and everything of it. And so we're just going to keep getting better. We're going to keep doing this thing and just bringing good content to all you guys. Just talking, Chiefs football. We're going to have some more segments that I think people are going to be very excited about. Talking to some people that they're going to be absolutely glad that we're getting on the show. But yeah, man, this is going to be a great time. It's a great time for Chiefs Concerns, man. So me and Marcus, hopefully E's going to be on here every once in a while, bringing some things on, give us some great, some views on things. But it's going to be really, really exciting time. Exciting time. So yeah, man, I'm excited.
It's going to be an action-packed season on the field and also in the Chief Concerns channel and on Bleacher Report too. Yeah, so really exciting stuff. And as JD pointed out, like none of this would be possible without our fans and you guys kind of being with us since day one, rocking with us, or even our new fans, the ones who just joined us yesterday. It's because of you guys we keep putting out content, and it's because of you guys that you're really fueling the Chief Concerns vehicle, and we're gonna keep riding this thing out. So yeah, it's gonna be a fun season and lots of stuff in store for you all. All right, JD. Now we're going to get into it. The 53-man roster. I know when you saw that 53-man yesterday or 2 days ago, you brought back some memories of your first cut down day when they finally put the final roster on the bulletin board.
You know what? Being somebody who was drafted in the second round, I didn't really think too much about cuts. I just didn't. And I always felt like everything I did out there to perform, my mindset was I was going to make it. So I don't think there was any time that I had any thought that I was going to get cut. Like I said, I went out and did a job. But I will say that some of the bulletin board, it's a little tough. It's watching, some of your guys, man, that you're seeing the names of people leaving. And I tell you what, another thing too, what's really eerie is the amount of space that you have. I think it's really where it sets in. The reality is the space when you come in the locker room, okay, wait a minute, hold on. There's a whole lot of people not here. What's going on? Everybody, did I come here too early or what's the deal? Where's everybody at? And then you start realizing when it's seeing, wow, this guy's not here. He didn't make it. And then you start just looking around the locker room. You start seeing a lot of the faces didn't make it. Some guys, all right, leave out of town before you get to say bye. And it's a tough time. It's a tough time for guys. So the adulation goes into, you're glad that you made the 53-man roster. You see the guys that guy made it. Oh man, congratulations. And then there's also that feeling, that devastation the gravity of knowing somebody, didn't make it, and their lives have been changed, and the disappointment that they had to go through. It's a tough time, man. It's a tough time. So yeah, I remember those days. I do. I remember those days, like the emptiness of the locker room, not having the people around, but also too practice. I'm gonna tell you what happens in practice. You start realizing, oh man, I got to take more reps in practice because you got to get ready. But it's like, okay, now the real deal's coming out now, right? Because then before, when you had, I don't like using camp bodies, but when you start having players in there and guys are trying to get their look on things, you can kind of sit back a little bit. You get your quality rep that you need, and then you could come, put your hat on and chill out and just kind of watch some of the younger guys, the guys who are trying to make the team. And that's entertaining in itself because you get to do an evaluation in your head about who can make it and who's not going to be able to make it. So yeah, man, I remember all those days. I do. I remembered it vividly, just living through it. So yeah, man, it's a good time. It's a tough time. And it's crazy because I'm sitting over here. So on my desk, I don't know if everybody can see us, but I have a big poster of my 2004 Kansas City Chiefs, man. I'm looking at everybody with a nice jersey sitting there taking a picture. And I'm looking over here at Carl Peterson, Dick Vermeil, and Lamar Hunt. Like we're all just sitting there, and I'm looking at all the coaches and all the players and the practice squad, man. Like that was your family over the year. And so that's what guys are going to get into, man, just seeing what their family is going to be for this year right now.
And I'm also sure, like, obviously you were never, being a second-round pick when Philly, and then obviously you being the niche that you carved out for yourself in Kansas City, you were never fearing that you were going to be cut. But as far as, like, from an interest, right, like going over to see that bulletin board, like who made it, like, from more of like an interest kind of thing, seeing who made the team, like if
that of course, that was like one of the things, going and seeing, who made the cut and who didn't make the cut. But more so, I think I just, when you're soaking it all in, you're sitting over on the bench or in your locker, and you see who's not coming in. You start seeing how the lockers get empty. He's like, man, I remember that guy being there. Like, wow, he didn't make it. Like, daggone, he didn't make it either. And so there are some shockers, no doubt about it, because you thought the guy did everything that it was in his power to get a roster spot, right? To get a roster spot. I think everybody was looking at ISM. He's been one of the guys is like, man, he's going to make it, right? But the thing is, man, when you're dealing with the wide receiver group that we had, just kind of alluding to them. That was going to be a tough spot for guys to make. It ended up happening. Andy keeps 7, right? And he's never kept 7 wide receivers before. Now he's got 7 wide receivers. Why? Because he's got 7 talented guys that can catch the football. That's the reality. And there's some guys you definitely don't want to let go. You don't want to let a guy like Justyn Ross go anywhere, right? The thing, who you're going to cut. So all those guys are going to be able to produce. They're going to be able to give something. And I think that's in their mind when you're doing an evaluation as far as coaches. You wonder what a guy's going to give to the team. And that's when you have those 7 wide receivers. That's just telling me he's got a plan in place for each and every one of those guys.
Yeah, and also, man, I think I can't look at the numbers here, but like, when was the last time we didn't have 4 tight ends on the active roster? We only have 3. We only have 3 tight ends, which obviously helps for the fact that you can keep an extra receiver because you're not keeping an extra tight end. So I thought that was really interesting, only having 3 tight ends.
Well, I think I kind of talked about that last week a little bit, is because of if you're not having a tight end that does a lot of like more of the blocking, and it's just kind of the catching guy, especially if that's where your offense is geared toward. It's more the receiving tight end, and you do have a guy who's kind of a blocker. Then why take another roster spot for a guy who's not going to be giving anything to what you do, right? Because that 4th tight end may not be a good tackler. He may not be something that you need on special teams. You just regulate that to a guy who's playing defense, a defender who does a better job at tackling, obviously, because that's his job. But that 4th tight end is just taking a space up, and you don't need it. You don't need a guy like that. So that didn't shock me. I mean, 3 tight ends seems like that's usually what we used to take anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, we didn't really run 4 tight ends. So I would have been like, why you got 4 tight ends, right? But no, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
A big surprise to some people we talked about on the postgame show on Saturday. Blaine Gabbert won the QB2 job. Some people were very surprised Shane Buechele didn't even make the roster, not even keep 3 quarterbacks, only keeping 2 on the active roster. Shane Buechele, who signed with Buffalo Bills practice squad this morning. So obviously, you think that was the right move to go Blaine as the backup?
Yeah, definitely. And I said that before, man. You know his veteran presence is something that guys need to know is there, and it's always available. Coaches need to know that as well too, because if you ever get in a sticky situation where you need a guy to come in and win a game, if I'm looking down the bleachers and the bench, I want to make sure I'm looking at somebody who was a savvy vet, who's played the game before, who's been in certain situations, to make sure that he's the one that's going to come out of it. And Blaine Gabbert was that guy for us, no doubt about it. Like I said, nothing against Shane Buechele. Shane had a lot of ability. He's going to take chances. He's fun to look at. But when I'm looking at the consistency and somebody I could say, hey, look, I need to hang my hat. We need to go down here on the drive, or we need to do something. Maybe if it's just heaven forbid that Patrick Mahomes get hurt and he's out 3 or 4 games. Who are you gonna hand the keys over to? My money's on Blaine Gabbert. Yeah. So yeah, we made a great decision on that. I don't think there was any question about it. We got coaches that understand that too, right? Nagy, Reed, all them guys understand. Like, look, you need a veteran guy here who's been in a lot of different offenses, and not only looks the part but can do the part. So that's very important. It's very important to have that.
Yeah, and I remember we said this on the show in April when we signed him. Like, hey, we found our replacement for Henny, and we got some crap from fans saying, "Oh no, Buechele's the guy." And I brought that back up for some people to remember that one. Then look at the running back room. To a lot of Chiefs, which I'm surprised about, but a lot of Chiefs Kingdom surprise. CH made the team. We knew that CH was going to make the team. I don't think we ever thought that wasn't going to happen. But we kept 3 running backs. Some people thought that CH was going to be cut or traded, and they were going to keep P. Ryan as the last as third back. But no, they keep those 3: McKinnon, CH, and Pacheco. No shock there, JD. No
shock there at all. I thought that potentially CH might be a guy that you could shop if it came up to it. He would be that guy. But I think because of what he's done for the Chiefs in the past, he's had injuries and all those different things that happen. Which is, that's part of the deal. But I think the Chiefs still believe in him, right? They drafted him for a reason, and so they know he's a capable back. I like CEH. I like what he gives to the offense. He's a slasher. You don't have to be every down back, but we're not looking for him to do that. We got a guy in Pacheco who's been doing an amazing job since he's gotten here, and so I think it's a great compliment to McKinnon and CEH. This backfield, man, I think it's going to be in harmony because of those guys. And those guys, all 3 of those guys kind of know each other. CEH kind of, helped the rank, help Pacheco kind of get to where he needed to, give him a little bit of information. P. Ryan, if I'm not mistaken, he's on practice squad, right?
Yeah.
So to me, if something happens, right, an injury and all those different things, we got a stash in P. Ryan. We know what we got in him. It's no surprise whatsoever. No shock right there.
Yeah, in agreement with the CEH thing. Yeah, CEH is a nice in-between of what Pacheco and McKinnon provide for us because he can receive the ball in the backfield, and he's a decent runner. So, he's a nice in-between of those 2 styles.
Well, and the thing is, you give a defense something different to look at, right? It's almost like a hitter in baseball. You get a pitcher, and all of a sudden they get used to the speed of the pitch. Bring in a different reliever. Give him something to look at different, right? It's like, okay, now we got to adjust to his speed and maybe his running style, and that's a good thing. That's a good change of pace that you necessarily need. That's a great point. Definitely, no doubt about it.
And then looking at the defensive side of things, so I thought it was interesting because Snead hasn't been practicing. He's got the knee injury or the swollen knee. They kept 5 cornerbacks: L'Jarius Sneed, Trent McDuffie, Joshua Williams, Jalen Watson, Nick Jones, 7th-round pick. Another Veach strikes again with another 7th-round gem, it seems like. But then we signed Darius Rush, cornerback from South Carolina. The Colts had him. They cut him. We were apparently interested in him. I think so. One of the websites I still had him. Rush is the 65th or 63rd best prospect in this past draft, and able to get him 6'1", 198, ran a 4.36 40. So the kid's pretty athletic. What do you make of that? What do you make of having only keeping 5 cornerbacks? Does that tell you that they think Snead will be good to go by week 1? Only keeping 5 cornerbacks. I thought they were going to keep an extra one for the fact that Snead might not be ready to go.
Yeah. No, I think that's this. What we see is usually when I was looking at, Snead, he'll be ready. Week 1. It's still one of those things, man. But we got a very talented, group out there. So with the DB safeties, then we got some safeties that could probably play, in the slot, could do some of that covering also too. So I think we got a good basis there. And just if Snead has to be out 1 or 2 weeks, our young guys, man, do a tremendous job. I have no problem, no question about their talent, what they're able to handle. Part of why we went through the growing pains last year, right, early on with the young guys, is so they can extend to where they are right now, right? So we found out they could handle it. We found out putting them in the playoffs, they could handle it. So what's better than putting them on a bigger stage and say, look, these guys, they made it. They were able to do the job. And so I think that this speaks volumes to the type of the talent and what they give to the team. Because you want to feel confident in those guys, and those guys have played a wonderful job to this point. They've played this season, so I don't think any of those guys is a question to me. I do like the guy Rush coming in 6'1", 198, 4.38. It's great measurables to me. The guy could do all that. And you said he was 64th, I guess, overall. That's as far as what he was ranked. Shoot, that's a winner right there, man.
Yeah. For sure. I like the Rush pickup. It was one of those rankings I saw online that had like the 65th best prospect. Obviously, there's a bunch of different rankings that people have out there, but hey, yeah. I mean, that's it. Knowing what we know about how we've been able to develop DBs and cornerbacks, I think it's a great guy, great measurables to have in the lineup.
Absolutely.
Okay, and then last but not least, I'm going to let you spout off here a little bit. Defensive tackle. So we ended up trading from the Raiders, Neil Farrell Jr., a second-year guy out of LSU, kind of a run-plugging defensive tackle. But we kept 4 D tackles on the roster: Tershawn Wharton, Derek Nottie, Keandre Coburn, and Neil Farrell Jr., the new guy from LSU that we traded from the Raiders. Also interesting that we did an in-division trade with the Raiders. But one guy noticeably not in that room is Chris Jones, who's on the reserve did not report list. Yesterday, Brett Veach came out and said that he's talking to Chris Jones and his people, and they expect him to be there for week 1 and playing in that game against the Detroit Lions. Shortly after that, and made mention to it, he posted an Instagram story of himself just sitting on the sidelines in uniform, but just sitting down on the sidelines looking yonder at the field. If you look closely at that, there's so many different people looking at. One, people are saying that he's sitting down. That means he's going to sit out. 2, it looks like he's ready to go. Also, if you look at the arena, that's also the Allegiant Stadium where the Super Bowl will be played this year, the Vegas Stadium. So you can make the argument that, hey, like he's ready to go to be sitting on the sidelines during the Super Bowl. I mean, that mean also. But JD, what do you make of the DT room, and what do you make of the latest on Chris Jones?
I don't know too much about Neil Farrell. I don't know that much. I think the D line room is what it is. The thing is, we understand that Chris Jones is a guy that we need. Okay, and I think that they're banking on him being there, to be honest with you. And so these other guys, you're always trying to find a piece that's going to be able to go with Chris Jones. Okay. We have been building our defense around what Chris brings to the table for the past few years. Okay. There's no doubt about it. And so we can't miss his impact. We can't diminish what he's given here to the Chiefs. We can't just start all of a sudden hate on Chris, make him the villain when we shouldn't have to vilify him. For what reason? Okay, I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna try to be here with it, and then I'm gonna try to leave it alone. Okay, until Chris gets signed. Okay, all right, because I think that's where we all need to be. But look, I played in this league for a long time. I had 4 contract negotiations during those times I was in the league. Each contract negotiation is tough. It's going to be, somewhat could be lengthy. There could be some things being said, things going down that we don't quite know, which none of us know. But I'm assuming how people take it in from where it went from Chris to the Catch Brothers to them being the ones that are the issue and the problem, and nobody's talking about the Chiefs on their side being the issue and the problem, right? Because we know Veach is trying to get a deal. We understand that, and rightfully so. That's his job. He's supposed to get a job and work the contract situation out so we can have more money down the road, right? Cap's going up every year. Money's going to come. We understand this. But we need to understand that Chris is, because everybody's want to use his age against him, he's saying, look, my last year on my contract, I'm going to be making $20 million while I'm being underpaid. He's being underpaid now. He knows that. The Chiefs know that. Matter of fact, Brent Veach has said he deserves a big contract. This is what Brent Veach said. We don't have to say it. I don't have to say it. Brent Veach himself has said that. They've known this for the past 2 years. They've known this. So it's not like all of a sudden this thing has just come up. This is something that had been in the works for a while. So addressing that situation, it just takes, a balance of understanding where everybody is, okay? And everybody's getting so invested into this thing that they're almost like starting to hate Chris. It's going to be a lot of hate here, and, we'll move on. Look, the NFL is going to be okay regardless of who's playing, okay? If Patrick Mahomes don't play another down, the NFL is going to be okay. That's not the point of it. The point is we want to be able to make sure that we have us a dynasty here. Chris Jones puts us in that conversation, puts us in a better position to get that dynasty. We've won 2 Super Bowls with that man. 2. He's been so pertinent in what we do, paramount in that success that we have. He is PM15 on the other side of the defensive side of the ball. So we need to just understand, look, we need to all just back away from this, but Chris has every right to go after trying to get and capitalize on the time that he has. Because he is 29, about to be 30, and then this is going to be his last contract. He wants to be a Chief for the rest of his life. Brent Veach wanted to be a Chief for the rest of his life. Those things are synonymous. We understand that. So we shouldn't be sitting over here throwing stones and bricks and everything at Chris every chance we get. But we're not sitting there saying anything about the organization trying to be the halfway. And I think Brent, them are trying to work it out. They're going to get there. They're going to get there. Okay. And I get, Chris is, he's trolling everybody. He's saying different things. People are over it. I get it. I'm over the whole situation. I hate that everybody's sitting over here just piling on him though. Okay. He's having fun with it. Now all of a sudden it's not no fun. Everybody's piling on with it. Oh, we know where his priorities are. His priorities are trying to win a championship. That's what his priorities are. But you think that he doesn't have an invested interest in his own body and in his own, his own future? All of a sudden that shouldn't matter? I would never say that to anybody. I would never say to anybody who's working any type of job that you shouldn't worry about your future and your family's future because everybody wants you to be the company guy and take a better deal so they can get the product that they want, right? I would fight and advocate for each and every person who's out there working their job. If you've been one of the top 2 at your job, I don't care what position it is, whether you're making $20,000 or $20 million, okay? If you're paid, you're one of the top of your position, and then all of a sudden your pay goes from $20,000 to $30,000, you think I'm not going to advocate for you not to get that $30,000 when that is your worth? Now, we don't even know what Chris is asking for. We don't. But we do know he's worth more than $20 million. We know he's worth more than being the 9th paid defensive tackle or defensive lineman in the NFL. We know that. That is a fact. That is a fact. We cannot lose that fact because all of us want the product. We just want the product. This is what comes with the product. These ain't my words. This is Brett Veach saying this. This is the Chiefs organization saying this. They just working negotiation. It's negotiating. It's going to be painful. It's going to take a long time. Painstaking things you have to do to get what you need to get to. For us as Chiefs fans to win championships and watch them guys win the rings. Okay? That's what it is. So this is my last time I'm going to talk about it until Chris signs. All right? But I'm absolutely, without a doubt, I'm on Chris's side. And I'm on the Chiefs side. I think these guys can make this resolute and get to a point where they could compromise where they need to be. And I think they will do that. Okay? I just hate all the other noise that's out here that's piling on Chris and saying all these things, fine, then be over it, whatever. Okay? Let's watch these guys cheer these guys on who's in the building, who's going to get there. We'll cheer Chris like that. Patrick Mahomes said himself. When this deal goes in, we're going to take him in open arms. You know why? Because they love Chris. Chris loves these guys. All these guys is out there that's playing ball. They understand that, negotiations is a long time. It takes it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be fun all the time. It's not. It's not good at gun drops all the time that we think it's going to be. It doesn't happen that quick all the time. It just doesn't. I've seen it too many times. I done been in it too many times to understand how contracts work. So let them have their space, man, and let it work out. I do. But we start using reasons why we shouldn't need Chris, why we hate on Chris. All they have 4.9 yards a carry. Well, shoot, nobody talked about the back end, what we had. It wasn't just Chris. Why we put it on him? What about all the other guys that was around Chris that was giving up the 4.9? Chris might not have been the problem for that 4.9. Could have been other people around him. But what we want to do, we want to justify every other thing why Chris is not doing. I'm sorry. I know it's been a long thing, and I'm talking about it. That's where I am with it. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You know what? I'm a fan of Chris Jones, still a fan of Chris Jones. He's not doing anything to hurt his legacy. He's not doing anything that I feel is selfish. I don't think he's doing anything that will tarnish everything that he's done and he's achieved here with the Chiefs. Nobody's going to be able to take it away from him. Nobody.
I agree with you, JD, 100%. It's one of those things. It's like, people think it's two sides to this. There's really only one side because Chris Jones and Chiefs have one thing to gain from this. It's the Super Bowl. Chris Jones can get that contract, play Denver, and never win a Super Bowl again. Do you think he wants to do that? No, he doesn't want to do that. He wants to be able to get second high. Well, we don't know what the conversation is, but initial reports are second highest paid defensive tackle. He wants second highest paid DT money, but he also wants to stay with Kansas City. Kansas City wants him to stay in Kansas City, but they want a fair deal. So hopefully they can. The two sides have one thing in common. They have one goal. It's to win. So hopefully they can get it together.
Let me ask this question: Is Chris Jones the second best defensive lineman in the NFL right now?
Oh yeah,
arguably, right? Number 1 and 2, arguably.
Yep,
he is, right. So he should be paid accordingly. He should be paid accordingly. And look, it's not Chris Jones against Brent Veach. It's them dealing with the contract negotiation and getting the contract is the issue. That's it. They're going to work that thing out, okay? I just hate to see that, when Chris comes back, man, you might hear some boos. That would floor me. I would absolutely, I cannot believe this is happening.
Yeah, I think that, but then at the same time, I think these people who are coming out and dogging Chris Jones, I think they're going to just change the tune completely when he comes back. That's what I think is going to happen. They could. People online were saying, after Veach said that he might come back, and then Jones had the photo of him on the sidelines. Someone made a comment I could totally see them not saying anything about Chris Jones, and all of a sudden Thursday night, you see him run out of the tunnel with the Stone Cold Steve Austin music coming out.
That'd be good. That would be a good bright spot, man. That'd be a good feel thing for the fans that are true fans, right? I mean, seriously. But I don't like the talk and conversation that he's selfish and we don't understand what his priorities are. I've heard writers say this. I've read writers say this. I'm like, man, what are you on? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Seriously. So.
And then you look at like the fan bases like San Francisco, because I've wanted to see how like the people were talking about Bosa, not because very similar situation with Jones as far as not saying holding out.
Yeah.
I don't really see that much nonsense on Bosa. It was like, oh, but like the comments are like, we're not paying a franchise quarterback, freaking pay Bosa already. I don't know what we're doing. So similar, but it's more like on the side of Bosa, not really so much like how it is in Kansas City, where people were acting like they are the ones responsible for Clark Hunt's bank account. But then in Minnesota, like I didn't even realize that TJ Hawkinson was holding out while he was doing a hold in. I read, and he just got, I think he's the highest paid tight end now. But I was reading Diana Rossini had tweeted this. No one knew this, right? Because it's like, we see all the stuff about Jones and Bosa, nothing about TJ Hawkinson. The guy was holding out, and we're 1 week away from week 1 of the season. Rossini tweeted, TJ Hawkinson had been dealing with an ear infection and back pain for the last month. The injuries appear to be part of his hold in order to get his new contract. He now gets his deal, and the team gets their top tight end back for next week. So, like, there's a lot of this going on, and things are starting to happen.
Man, so this reality is this: money is going up in the NFL. Okay, that's the market rate. That's how these things go. Okay, that's the market. Can't be mad at the market because that's what it is. When I'm sitting over here and I'm talking about like why running backs should get paid, no, they shouldn't. Well, that's the market. Okay, I'm mad at where the market is. So I'm insisting where the market is for the running backs because I think they're being underpaid. Okay. People could be mad at the market because they feel like somebody's being inflated and is being overpaid. We can have an argument on both those things, right? Both those planes. My thing is, Bosa hadn't won a championship, okay? Chris Jones is up for the Defensive Player of the Year, right? He's got 2 Super Bowls, okay? He's got 2. And so the thing is, we know what he means to our defense, just like Bosa means that much to San Fran, all right? So that's it, man. That's the main thing. But I without a doubt, I don't doubt Chris Jones is going to be here. I think this week it gets done. We just got to remember who this guy is. Don't think that he's just sitting over in the corner like, I'm just going to be greedy. I don't care nothing about this. That's crazy to me. That's unbelievable. Like all the time and dedication he's given, and I think I know this because playing the game. You know what your body goes through. You know what those guys in the locker room mean to you. You know what it means when you go out there on the football field. You know what those things mean to you. You know what it means. So, Chris Jones, he's not that guy. He deserves every penny he's trying to get for being paid the second highest. We don't know what that number is. We have no idea. Okay, but I'm just gonna let them hash it all out, man. Let them do what they do. Okay, they'll get it done.
Yeah, and the fact that Veach is coming out a week before the first game of the season saying, "Hey, I think he'll be with us for the first game of the season." That's the person I want to be hearing from. It's not like it's not Adam Schefter saying, "Yep, both sides think they can get something done," but no, it's the guy who's working on the deal is saying that. So like,
yes,
he would put his neck out on the line and say something like that could piss off Chief fans. Like, what, you told us he was gonna be there for week 1, and he's not there. So like him saying that, I think he's giving a little more info.
He said talks came back up, right? Talks came back up.
Yep.
That's all I'm gonna say. I'm just gonna leave it at that, man. But I will say this, and I'm in it like with this. We need Chris Jones. We look at the defensive line. We need Chris Jones. We need him. Okay, for a whole defense to be effective, where we don't have to score 45 points every game. We need Chris Jones.
I agree. I mean, I was looking at I'm waiting to place I'm going to take the Chiefs week 1, but I'm waiting to place my bet for that because I think right now that we're a 6.5 point favorite. If he's not there, I could see that line going down a little bit. Not that I think they're going to beat us if Chris Jones is not there, but I'm just saying it's an intriguing thing, especially the way our D-line looked against Cleveland's the 2s and 3s in that first quarter.
Them suckers going to load up and they're going to run the football. That's what they're going to do.
Yeah, Montgomery and Gibbs will have a day, I think, if he's not there. But based on Veach's comments, it seems like he will be there, but we'll see.
He'll be there. You'll be there.
And just on the contract front, JD, so TJ Hawkinson's numbers, he's the highest paid tight end in NFL history. 4 years, $68.5 million with $42.5 million guaranteed. Thoughts coming from a tight end?
It's good money. That's great money. That's great money. Good job, TJ, getting your money. Know your worth. Know your worth. Okay? Nothing wrong with going to go get what your worth is. Okay? And Travis Kelce should be getting that much money, if not more.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah. Okay, Travis has spoiled us a little bit. That's why everyone's expecting Chris Jones to take the Travis Kelce type route, but
yeah, I might shoot Travis. You need to be, hey, get that. What he's done? Come on, man.
Yeah. Okay, so now we're going to go to our season predictions. So this is the fun part of the season. Now we're done with the off season and training camp stuff. Now we're headed on to the final little segments before we get to next week's preview of the season. But anyway, so Patrick Mahomes, Vegas has set his stat predictions. Well, this is DK Sportsbook, DraftKings Sportsbook's predictions for the year. So Patrick Mahomes, we're gonna go. I'm gonna go yards, touchdowns, interceptions. Let me see what you think.
Okay.
So, Patrick Mahomes, their over under for total yards or passing yards is 4,800.5 yards. That's his over under.
Ooh, 4,800. Over.
Over. Okay.
Yeah.
Touchdowns thrown over under 36.5 passing touchdowns.
Oh wow. 36.5. What did he have last year?
I think it was I want to say it was 35 or 36. Let's see. Last year, wow, no, he had 41 passes last year. He had 37 the year before. So he's
30 over.
Yeah, okay.
I think over. Yeah. I'm thinking about that sweet ball that Justin Ross caught. There'll be a lot of those.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And then interceptions, over under 11.5 interceptions. He had 12. He had 12 last year and 13 the year before.
Yeah, over. You said 11 something.
11.5.
I say he'll be right around 12. He'll be around there.
Okay. Based on that was the Vegas over unders. If you were to give him a stat line next year, what would be the JD stat line for Patrick Mahomes?
Oh shoot, man! I have no idea. That's up in the air. I mean, really. But I would think somewhere around, if we're thinking close to 5,000, obviously yards. Talking about touchdowns, around 38, 39. Interceptions, you said 11.5, maybe 12. You got a young cast around you, right? So it might be some guys, balls popping out for them because they never had a ball come to them that fast.
It's true.
So, yeah.
MVP season. What do you think?
MVP season, no doubt about it. Look, we watched the quarterback. I guess they got the franchise out there. I haven't seen the quarterback thing with Patrick Mahomes yet. I haven't checked it out.
Oh, got to.
I've been wanting to see it. I know it. I've been wanting to see it. I'm gonna get to it. I just how my life, man. Things been going on here.
You got a lot
but
going on.
yeah, I'm gonna check it out. But I know he wants to be the best. Okay, I know he wants to be the best. The thing is, as long as he's laser focused on doing that and doing things the right way, he's going to be fine. I think it will be an MVP season for Patrick Mahomes, no doubt.
Three in his short career already, man. Woof, crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on to the running back rooms. This one is an interesting one. Okay, so DraftKings Sportsbook has Isiah Pacheco, his over-under set at 775.5 yards. Do you have over or under that, JD?
775 yards. I think it'll be over. But we got CEH in there too, so I think it'll be over.
So why I think that's weird is so he had 830 yards rushing last year, and he didn't start till week 4. I mean, he wasn't the main guy till week 4, week 5. So 775 seems. I don't know if they think that we're going to get the ball more to CEH. Is he going to get hurt? I mean, it's weird that Vegas had it set so low. It's very odd.
I think when you look at it, Vegas, Vegas is looking at everything, right? Oh, he had a shoulder, wrist, it could be little dings he's feeling during the season. So I know they're probably measuring it all, but I think he'll be over what they have, 775. I think you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think he'll be over that.
They have his over-under for rushing touchdowns set at 5.5. He had 5 rushing touchdowns last year.
He'll be over. He'll be over 5. Yeah.
All right. So you said over. Do you think he gets 1,000 yards rushing this year?
No, I don't think he get 1,000 yards. No.
All right. Okay, so now we're getting to the favorite portion. We got our pass catchers. We've been talking about them all season long. We're going to talk about our main guy for a little bit more than we have, our guy Travis Kelce, right now. So DraftKings, this is the interesting thing. So DraftKings only has Kelce, MVS, and Jerick McKinnon. Of all of our pass catchers, the only ones they have on there for projected stats for the year. We're going to talk about the other ones who weren't listed, but we're going to go with the guys who they have listed right now. So Travis Kelce. So DraftKings Sportsbook has Travis Kelce having 1,150.5 yards receiving. Do you think it goes over or under that?
1,100 yards. What did he have last year?
He had 1,338. He had 1,125 the year before.
He's going to be right around there, I would say.
So you're going over?
Over.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Over under, they have 95.5 receptions.
Over.
Damn. Yeah, 110 last year, 92 the year before.
Yeah.
And then touchdowns, they have him having 9.5 touchdowns this year. 12 last year, 9 the year before.
Oh, man. I say he'll probably have 10. Gonna give him
Yeah. That's I think it's a safe bet there with Kelce. Okay, so then the other receivers they have other pass catchers listed. MVS. They have MVS having 625.5 yards receiving, over under, JD.
Ooh. 625?
He had 687 last year.
I give him over 6. Yeah, I give him over that. Yeah. Over.
Moving to receptions, they have him listed at 40.5 receptions, over under, JD.
Over.
Yeah, 42 last year, so a little bit over that.
Yeah.
And then touchdowns wise, they have him having 3.5 touchdowns receiving, over under. He had 2 last year.
3.5?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Woo! So I'm thinking if passed on, okay, close to 40. Travis got 10 of them. All right. MVS over the 3. I think he's going to have about 4.
Wow.
I think MVS can be a machine. I'm giving him 4 tubs. 4 tubs, babe. Let's go, MVS.
Okay, so and then the final pass catcher they just have Jerick McKinnon's receiving yards. They didn't put stats or touchdowns. But Jerick McKinnon, they have his receiving yards, 425.5 receiving yards. Do you have it over or under?
Oh, dang. I was right around 400. Over. I have him at 440. I don't know why it popped out of my head, but I'm thinking 440.
He had 512 last year, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, he should. Might be a drop off CEH. Like I said, we don't know, but yeah. Okay.
That's true. See, I mean, McKinnon came on hard once CH got hurt. So, I don't think Pacheco is going to be a factor really much in the passing game. I think his role is pretty much what it is. But, CEH is going to be the difference there, I think, as far as that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so the guys who weren't listed, the ones who everyone's talking about, obviously, our guy Justyn Ross, Skyy Moore, and Rashee Rice. If you were to kind of put values on them, I mean, you have Mahomes having close to 5,000 yards passing, and he did it last year. That's the crazy thing. He did 5,000 yards last year with only having one guy have over 1,000 yards. Of the 3 there, what do you kind of have these guys? I mean, yesterday Veach said that Rice and Ross are going to be more situational package type guys and maybe could have an increased role at the end of the season. But for now, Rice and Ross will be situational guys. And if you were to kind of put where you think yards and receiving wise, receptions for Skyy Moore, Rice, and Ross, where would you have them?
I mean, I see Skyy Moore probably having somewhere about he'll have 500 or 600. That's what I'm looking at. Look, I think Skyy Moore's going to have a good year this year. I think he's going to have a big year. I know we've been talking about the Young Bucks and whatnot, but I think Skyy Moore, man, is going to be the guy for us. I really do. He's going to have a bigger role. I think he's got a better understanding about what, how he fits into what we do. So yeah, I think Skyy Moore's going to be around about 600 yards.
Yeah, and that's also another thing Brett Veach spoke about too. Not only did he talk about Rice and Ross, but he specifically mentioned Skyy Moore taking a big jump this year.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, he's. We had how many catches did we have? MVS making?
You had him over 40.5 catches.
Skyy Moore should be around about 50 catches, 56 to 58. He should be. He should. At least that. Okay, and I think he will.
Yeah, I mean that would be a huge jump compared to what he had last year.
Yeah, but man, he's the guy now. He's I know we're talking about Kadarius Toney and stuff like that, but I think Skyy Moore is going to be the guy that's he's going to get those little nickel and dimes. He'll catch one game, he'll catch 2. Next thing he'll have 6. One game. That's how it's going to work with him. So Rice
and Ross, I know we talked. I know you were a big Jody Fortson fan. It's on IR. He was the red zone guy. We talked about Ross potentially maybe filling some of that void. And they said situational packages. So it sounds like Ross might be the guy in the red zone. If you were to put a number on touchdowns for Ross, what would you give it this year? No.
2. I'll give him 2. 2 touchdowns, maybe 3. But I think if you bring him in, when you go in the red zone, they're going to be like, oh, he keying on this guy. Look, ball. Okay. So I don't know. So I'll say 2. 2 touchdowns, 2 tubs.
And Rice, what do you think? Where do you think he's going to kind of?
He's a young guy developing, man. Young guy, unless somebody gets hurt really in front of him. Your main guys is Kadarius Toney, Skyy Moore, MVS, Justyn Watson, because he's just a solid guy that they're gonna put in. And Richie James. Richie James is a guy he's another guy that's going. I'm telling you, he's going to perform really well in this offense. So let's not forget about him, man. So the young guys are gonna get in for a couple of little things, but we gonna see what. I like our cast of guys we got. I do. I like our wide receiver room.
Yeah, I love this wide receiver room more so than I have in a really long time. Man, because even during the Tyreek Hill days, it was Tyreek, and then you had other Watkins, but then it kind of took a big drop off after those two. Whereas this one, everyone's so talent level wise very similar, but you have so many of those guys who are very similar in talent wise. Whereas before it was top heavy, and then it took a drop off. This is so similar, so it's so many guys who could go off. I mean, yeah, it's deep. Okay, so last topic we've been talking about for a couple of weeks. JD wanted to see what the final 53 looked like before he gave his season-long prediction. So JD, how many wins do you have the Chiefs winning this year? But also, I will say DraftKings has the Chiefs at over under 11.5 wins for the regular season.
Really?
Yep.
At 11.5?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I have us. I actually have us at 13-4.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Who are the 4 losses? If you could.
4 losses, I think. 4 losses I'm looking at. I have possible us. So the ones I think I put down: Jacksonville, Buffalo, Chargers for 1, And who else was it?
Philly?
Nah, I think Philly might have been the one up in the air for me. I don't know if I had maybe no.
Don't say the Jets.
No, no. Who would I say?
You said Chargers, Buffalo, Jacksonville.
Huh?
You,
Oh, did I have Miami? I might have Miami. Either Miami or I think maybe Denver lucks up and because we had 2 hard games against them last year. There shouldn't have never been
I
that.
know.
And I think it might be one of those games you're just like, what are you doing? And we give one up. So maybe even the Raiders, right? The Raiders are always good for quick little upset. I always kind of split with them. They might pull one out of they tail and win. But I had us at 13-4.
Yeah, I mean, no one saw that Colts game coming. We almost lost to Houston last year too. Had to go to overtime. So we always have one of those weeks where it's like, what's going on here?
We all just fart in the bag.
Okay, so what's your season result? Who do you have in the Super Bowl, and who do you have winning the Super Bowl?
Not only do I have us going to the Super Bowl, but I also have us winning the Super Bowl this year. Okay, if everything works out, everybody's where they're supposed to be, and the fans are cheering all the guys up. The organization, which is going to happen, I think we will be world champs again. I do. So,
what's the result? Who do you have us beating in the Super Bowl?
I didn't really have as far as who's going to come from the other side. It could be Philly. It could be Philly again. I just don't. San Fran, they don't really look. They don't look the part. But Philly, man, Philly stacked again, man. Them jokers stacked again. I think maybe did I have us lose against Philly? That might have been a fourth team. Them getting their revenge, right? They might get their revenge in, of course, Super Bowl. Builds up for another Super Bowl, and then there it is.
I have us beating San Fran in the Super Bowl. So it is a Super Bowl rematch of sorts a couple of years ago, but yeah.
Brock Purdy?
It's not so much about buying Purdy. It's more so I think one more year in the offense, I think he can be able to pull someone together with the weapons they have, being able to utilize Debo, CMC a full off season, Kittle's healthy, Ayuk takes another step forward. I mean, they have the weapons there. Just Purdy needs to
weapons all around them. Yes, they do. They got weapons. They got good defensive weapons.
That too, yeah.
Yeah, but they better sign Bosa.
They better. Their GM better put his money where his mouth is. All right. Well, we hope you guys enjoyed that, the predictions and stuff. The little fun way to end the off season. But before we end it, we gotta do the raffle. We gotta do our giveaways. Let me pull out what these 2 lucky people are going to be getting. So I got the 2 lucky prints from our guy Corey, the artist chief. So one lucky person is going to be getting this puppy right here.
Ah, nice.
And then we have all the Pacheco fans out there. A little Isiah Pacheco action.
Awesome.
He's ready to go, baby.
Sir. Yes, sir.
All right, so I found this amazing website which does the randomization and the picking for me instead of me having to write them in a hat and then do all that stuff. So I thought that was great. I'm going to share my screen here so you guys know this is good stuff. Okay, Twitter picker. Okay,
you gonna pull the curtain back? Is that what you're doing? Uh-oh.
Oh yeah.
Showing everybody how you do things.
This is how we do it right here. So I took the tweet, put it in here. So you got this. It's going to take everyone who liked and retweeted it and who follows Chief Concerns and Corey the artist. So now we're going to go continue. Shows everybody who's in this thing, all the entries right here. Okay. So now we're going to go continue. All right, here we go. Begin the draw. Okay, so 3, 2, 1. Wow. Okay, so we got at ARG in KC, and then we got Brian Porter. So I will copy.
Hey.
congratulations to you guys. I'm going to contact you about which one you guys have preference, and whoever responds first gets the one they want. So first come, first serve for that one, but awesome.
Congratulations, guys. It's a wonderful thing.
And we have more to give away too. So that we're going to have the drawings continuing all throughout the season. So obviously, can continue to retweet and get in on Chief Concerns, guys. But yeah, it was a great offseason. Sometimes the offseason goes so slowly. There's not much news, but we really, everyone who, continued to stay engaged with us all throughout the offseason, we really appreciate you guys. You guys have made Chief Concerns what it is, and we love you guys, and thank you guys for that.
Keep engaging with us. We love y'all, okay? Come back and come see us, man. Bleacher Report, YouTube, we on Twitter. Please holler at us, okay? Y'all got anything on your mind, bring it to us. Tell them, Marcus, we engage with anybody. This is what we're here for, okay? That's what we're here for.
Doesn't matter. Chief fan, Raider fan, Bills fan, Bengals fan. We interact and engage with everybody. We'll give you some movie scene responses. We'll give you everything.
Bring it on, baby. Bring it on. Bring it all on.
But all right, everybody. We hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We'll see you guys next week. We're going to have an episode a little earlier next week, just because the game's on Thursday. We'll put that out, and then obviously we'll have our post-game reaction show on Bleacher Report. And for those who don't make it to Bleacher Report, we'll have it on our YouTube channel after that. So we hope you guys enjoy the weekend. Enjoy one last weekend without NFL, because once the fall begins, your butt's going to be glued to your couch on Sunday. So enjoy the weekends.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.